this funeral poster or that funeral poster, which one is your favorite? In today's video, me and you are going to look at how to design this one from scratch, funeral poster and 8 banner. So without further ado, let's get into Photoshop and start the magic. Alright, so this is the first funeral poster that we are going to work with, and this is the banner that we are going to also come along with it. The second funeral poster is also going to look like this, and also 8 banner comes along with it. So without further ado, Ctrl+N to open a new document. Then I'll go to my source file. So I have this image that I would like to use. So I'm going to click and drag this into Photoshop, and then I'm going to make this very big. By the way, I'm going to leave a link to this source file so that you can have access to this, so you can follow alongside me. Then I'm going to draw this shape that you can see over here. So with this one, you can see I have this shape over here. So to create this is very simple. With the help of the rectangle tool over here, you can pick it from here, and then you click and drag to draw a rectangle just like this. And then let's duplicate this layer by just clicking on this one and bringing it on this to create a duplicate. So we have them two here now. So I can make one big, and then I'm going to send that one to the back. Okay, and let's add a gradient overlay on it. So this is a type of gradient overlay that we are going to add to it. Okay, then for me, I'm going to click on OK, and then I'll also add a gradient overlay to it. So let's come here, and then I'm going to click gradient overlay, and then I'm going to use this gradient over here. By the way, if you want to see the gradient that I'm using, let me open the color code for you guys to see. So this is the first color code, okay, and also the second color code, and also this is the second color code. So I'll click on OK to accept changes, and this is where we are now. By the way, you can get this PSD file from our digital store to support us in one way or the other. You can see how well it is arranged over here, and also how well this one is arranged over here. And it comes along with 8 banner that you can easily edit and input your own information into it. So from here, I'm going to click and drag both of these a bit up, and let's increase a bit here. All right, then let's go back to our source files, and I'm going to click and drag my image into Photoshop just like this, and I'm going to make it a bit tiny, a bit smaller, just like this. Okay, then for me, I'm going to add my text just like this. So quickly, let's add that. So quickly, this is how my text looks like, and I have a gradient on the observation. Okay, so it is the other gradient that we use that I have on it. Then also with this one, I have this text that I used to write it. So you can copy the name over here, and then you download it from Google and use it. It's free font. Okay, then from here, let's go and add the name. So the name is very simple to add the name. You already know how to do. With the help of your text tool, we can quickly type your name, change your color, okay, to suit whatever that you would like to add. So quickly, let me add the name, and I'll be back. So quickly, if I add a name, this is how it's going to look like. Okay, super simple. And then from here, with the help of the rectangle tool, I'm going to draw a shape with the ellipse tool just like this. Okay, and then I'm going to copy the gradient from here. So we can right click, and then you will see copy the layer style. So let's copy the layer style, come all the way up, select this one, and let's paste the layer style here. So we are going to have the same effect here. Then from here, we are going to quickly go through this boring way of adding our text. So we are going to add the date, the venue, and also the time of the program. And also we will quickly also add all friends and sympathizers are cordially invited. All right, so if I go through all the steps to add the text, this is how it's going to look like. Okay, so with the help of the rectangle tool, we can draw a line here, to kind of like dividing the shape over here. So we can just sample a color from here, and then we are good to go. So I think we are almost done with this, but I left with one thing. So we have this image that we are going to add over here, but before that, let me click and drag this frame over here, and I'm going to make it small. So with the help of the bounding box around it, we can position it over here. Okay, And you can also notice that we have the date. That's very important, so we are also going to quickly add that as well. So let me position this one here, make it a bit bigger, and I'm going to move it all the way down just like this. And then also with the help of the ellipse tool, let's draw an ellipse just like this, position it in the center, and also move it all the way back. Okay, so I'm going to move it back and make it a little bigger. Let's go back to our source files, click and drag our image here. Let's reduce the size. And by the way, I have already removed the background. If you don't know how to remove a background in Photoshop, I will leave a link so you can also learn how to do this. So I'm going to position it here, and then I'm going to right click and create a clipping mask. Okay, this is so simple. All right, then from here we can add a brand new layer just like this. Then with the help of the brush tool, we can select it from here. Then we can make the brush tool a little bigger, and we can, just come all the way up. So let's move this one a bit up, and we can add a bit of color over here. Okay, so you can see before and after, to hide some part that we don't want all of them to show. So from here we can add our year over here. Okay, the age. So with the age, I have this that I can use. So with this one, I'm going to use the quick selection tool to select the edges that I don't want. Then we can click on the layer mask over here. Okay, to invert it, let's undo, and to click on the layer mask, hold down the Alt key on your keyboard and click on it to invert it. Reduce the size just like this. Let's position it somewhere here, and then we can also draw a circle just like this. Come and position it over here. Double click and let's sample a color from here, and quickly let me do the justice to adding my text. All right, so if I add my text, this is how it looks like. So in simple terms, we have been able to design the 1 week poster. So we are done with the 1 week poster. Let's create the banner. So quickly set here to inches, and the banner size is 3x4. So I'm going to do that. So 36, that's 3 feet, and 48, that's 4 feet. Okay, so this is the banner size. And also with the banner, we are going to need the information up to here. So I'm going to click and drag this over here and open it to fill most of the canvas. Okay, let's increase it a bit just like this. Let's also come back and pick one thing that we left over here. Okay, so we have this text that we left it over there, so we can just increase the size just like this, and let's position it over here. And also we don't have our age over here again, so let's see if we can bring back the age. So this is how it's going to be. Let me reduce the size just like this. Control O to fit everything to screen. Then I'm going to change this one to enlarging memory because the banner is not 1 week. Okay, so let me do justice to it. So if I change the text, this is how it's going to look like. Super simple and super easy. So we are done with the first one. Let's move on to the next one. So Ctrl+N to create a new document. Then let's select A3. So we are going to move very fast on this video. Okay, so with this one, let's first of all create this shape over here. So with the help of the rectangle tool, let's click and drag to create a rectangle just like this. And then I'm going to make a copy. So Ctrl+G to make a copy, and let's move one at the back. And then I'm going to add a gradient overlay. Let's open the gradient, and let me select a gradient that I would like to use. So let's select something like this, and also move this one all the way down. Let's go back to our gradient overlay, and we have a gradient here that I would also like to use. So this one, that one. Let me change the angle to, let's say, 0. Move it a bit. Let's reverse it, and let's see something like this isn't bad. Let me change the angle to something like 27. Move it a bit down. So this is what we are going to have. Then from here, I'm going to click on OK. Then let me check So let's add our background and add this one so we can quickly move on to the next thing. So I will select the background layer over here. Then I'm going to go to my source files. I have my image over here. Click and drag into Photoshop. Let's position this one over here and let's move this guy a bit down. We can increase the size of the image a bit. Okay. Then from here we can go back to our source files. But before that, let's select this guy. Let's try to increase the size and rotate it a bit, just like this. Okay. So this is the same thing that we did with the first one, you can see. Okay. Then I think we might also change the gradient that we have over here because this one and that one isn't matching. So I think this is the gradient that I'll be using. Then let me go back to my source files. I'll click and drag this one into Photoshop. I'll use this one as my background. Okay. Then I'm going to add a brand new layer on top, just like this. And with the help of the brush tool, white as my foreground color, increase the size of my brush. I'm going to dab twice, 3, 4. I think it's okay. Let's increase this one a bit. And this is how I was able to get my background. Super easy and cheap. We can group all of them as background, lock it. Okay. So let's move this one a bit down. I'll go back to my source files. I have this that I'm going to click and drag into Photoshop. Let's position this guy over here. And I'm going to add 1 week observation over here onto it. Okay. Then also we are going to add the frame and also the name. Okay. So let's add the frame just like this. Position it here. And then with the help of the ellipse tool, let's draw an ellipse just like this. And I'm going to move it here. By the way, please, you can go to our digital store to get this PSD file to support us in one way or the other. I'm going to put these amazing 2 designs as one document or as one thing that you can purchase as cheap as you can get it on my store. So without further ado, let's continue. Then from here, I'm going to move this one all the way down. And then let's go back to our source file so we can click and drag the image into Photoshop just like this. Let's reduce the size and we can create a clipping mask. Right click and create a clipping mask. So boom, this is what we have. Then from here, quickly let me add the name because this is super easy to add a text. So we can select our text, then we can just type the text. Okay, then we can change this one to something. Yeah. So if I go through all the stress, this is what I'm going to get at the end of the day. Super easy and simple. So to add the name, that's super easy. So this is the font called Atom that I use over here. The same thing over here, and this font is different. Okay, it's even different from the one that I use over here, but any of them works. Okay, then from here we are going to draw a rectangle to make this text show or pop. Okay, then I'm going to corner the edges just like this, like what I had in the first one. Okay, so this is super easy design that you can achieve for yourself. Then also I'm going to add a 1 week observation test over here, and also we are going to add the age over here. Draw a circle, fill it with your favorite color. Let's increase the stroke number to, let's say, 20. Let's change the color to something like this, and quickly let's add the age. All right, so this is how you can achieve this in Photoshop. Let's create our last design by creating a new document. Let's say this banner goes like 4 by 5 feet. So here is going to be 48 and here is also going to be 60. Then let's create our new document. I can select all of this with the exception of the downs here. Click and drag this one into this new canvas. Let's increase the size just like this. Okay, let me position it very well, and also increase the sizes of this one. Let's increase the stroke to maybe 60 pixels. Okay, Control O to fit everything to screen. We can increase this one as well. This is too big. Something like this isn't bad. All right, then from here, with the help of the rectangle tool, we can draw something like a line, to divide this area. And then we can, so at the end of the day, this is how you can achieve the banner and the one-week poster in Photoshop. You just have to change this one to in loving memory of the late, then the name and everything appears, and also we can include our background over here. So I just have to go unlock that. Okay, then I'm going to move this one just here, increase the size, send it all the way back, and boom, we have everything set. So this is how you can go about it. Don't forget to give me a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you like videos like this. Until next time, keep creating and never give up.